Oh, the Marvels. Strange, but somewhat fun. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be talking about the Marvels. So let's get into that. So I just got back from watching the Marvels here at my local theater, and it was decent. I was going in with very low expectations, so maybe that's why it kind of surprised me a little bit. I wasn't particularly excited for this one. I wasn't particularly excited for any new Marvel movies really coming out. The trailers didn't really sell me, but I went to go take a look at it just so I can put out a review here for you guys. And this movie is interesting. It does a lot of things good. It does a lot of things bad. It's very mixed in my book, and a lot of the reasons, which I'll go into more in depth, is it can be cool at some points, a little too slapstick funny at other points, and that mixture wasn't really done well, in my opinion. And also, a lot of part of it too is because this kind of feels like a sequel to a show that I haven't watched, right? So with having Miss Marvel in here and having her little miniseries, it feels like I'm left out of a joke here, right? Because they do bring up points from that show that I don't really understand. And there's a lot of aspects of it that I did enjoy that I wish I saw more, that I'm sure is implemented into that miniseries of Miss Marvel. And I'll get into all that, but those are certain things that made the movie kind of 50-50 for me. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the positives for me. Now, for me, one of the biggest positives was actually Kamala Khan as a character. Miss Marvel, she was probably my favorite part of the entire movie. I really enjoyed the way she was acting when she met Captain Marvel. I really enjoyed her fight style. I enjoyed her part of the comedy, especially with her being a little bit younger, being in a situation that she's never been before. You can expect her to act a certain way and be a little bit more kind of kiddish in a way. And that aspect of the comedy works well for me, at least while you're watching this, that she does have comedy aspects that do break up the kind of seriousness in a good way. And I really enjoyed her character arc with her family as well. And that's kind of where I dive into, where I'm sure that they implement that more into the show, but in here I enjoyed the aspect of her and her family dynamic, and how they didn't really want her to go out with Captain Marvel and Monica and try to save the universe or save the world, really. And you can understand that, right? They don't want their daughter to be in harm, and having that relationship between each other, and her mother and her family kind of accepting that she needs to be there to help them and trusting her to be a hero was really nice to see. I really like that family dynamic between Kamala and her parents, as well as her brother, I believe it is. So that aspect of it I really enjoyed. I just really enjoyed her character as a whole. I thought she kind of brought everything full circle and was the one that kind of helped connect the three female actors here, with Monica and Captain Marvel, since they kind of have a bickering between each other, and they've kind of fallen off in the relationship for certain reasons. And Kamala being that one in between, it kind of helps them all kind of come together. So I really enjoyed Kamala's contribution to the rest of the superheroes here. Another thing that I really enjoyed was honestly just the fight sequences. They were actually pretty cool. They're pretty epic, especially when they start getting used to their whole power switching, where every time they use their light powers, they switch places. And when they start actually, being able to use that properly and use that to their advantage, those fight sequences are actually pretty cool. And the choreography and the visuals and the sound effects and everything was actually pretty epic. And I really enjoyed the fight sequences. And those are kind of the moments that I really only enjoyed, unfortunately, because there was a lot of aspects of it that just didn't feel fitting for the movie. But those fight sequences were actually really, really done really well. Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, of course, does a good job here. And then Kamala's character, her fighting was really good. And then Monica being with this newfound power that she got over time, where Captain Marvel was gone. All those aspects combined together made for some pretty fun, epic, cool fight sequences. And the last little bit into the positives was just the visuals. Of course, with Marvel, a lot of times the visuals are going to be good, as expected. A lot of cool, epic sceneries, little epic visuals, epic powers, explosions, whatever the case may be. Typically, you'll see some pretty good visual effects when it comes to Marvel movies, as expected. Now into the cons for me, and unfortunately there's a lot more cons here than there is positives, and one of them is the comedy aspect, where I really enjoyed Kamala's comedy when it came into this whole movie. The rest of the comedy just felt unnecessary, placed very wrong. Within this movie, you have a lot of serious moments, and then it gets broken up by a 10 minute of comedy, and it just doesn't feel right. There's this whole sequence where they go to this planet, and within this planet their language is song. All they do is sing. If you don't sing, they don't understand what you're saying. You're still speaking English, but you're not singing. And they come to this planet because they need help, and they know that this planet is in danger. And then there's this whole musical number, and that goes on for a while. This whole musical number, they're going back and forth, they're singing to each other, and as they're singing to each other, Captain Marvel just stops them real quick. Okay, it's time to get back to the serious part. And it's like, yeah, we could have been doing that already, but this whole musical number happened, and that's strange, right? Or a little bit towards the end where you have all these cats, and these cats are doing some pretty crazy things to these people on this spaceship, and that also sequence breaks up this very important part where you feel like these people are in danger, and now it's just another comedy bit that kind of breaks up the whole serious situation and serious nature of it, and it gets broken up in a wrong way. And even the way that they talk about the main antagonist here, Dar-Benn, whatever her name is, because she's not that important to me. Even the way they talk about her, Monica refers her weapon as the space hammer thingy. Like, really? Like, the space hammer thingy? Is that really how you want to introduce this villain that's supposed to be menacing? And, there's a lot of different ways you can go about that, right? You can make better things to even if you don't know what she's wielding, you can make it still sound more menacing than space hammer thingy, right? It doesn't seem serious. And that also brings down the kind of high stakes that you have here, where Dar-Benn is trying to rip space-time continuum to help her home planet. And you can understand her kind of motive for doing all this, but her character is not compelling. It's not interesting. It's not, there was a lot of pizzazz missing from Dar-Benn's character, and especially the way people talk about her and kind of belittle her, it makes her, again, less and less menacing. So I didn't really enjoy the antagonist here, the villain that was in play. The more interesting part was them trying to figure out how to use their powers, and having that kind of dynamic where you're belittling the villain. The movie doesn't feel important, right? The situation doesn't feel important. And when you finish the movie, you had fun. It was interesting enough where you had fun, but it doesn't feel like it deserved its own movie, And as tired as I am of Marvel TV shows that you have to follow to make sense of this movie or that show, whatever the case may be, honestly, this movie could have been one episode within a show, really, realistically, because it just didn't feel serious enough, and that's unfortunate. And again, with Marvel movies, it's oversaturated now. Like I said, you have to follow certain shows to follow certain movies to understand plot points, and it gets confusing, it gets annoying, it's too much to watch. And I'm sure even for a huge Marvel fan, a bigger Marvel fan than I am, it gets annoying and it's too much. So unfortunately, The Marvels was fun enough. It's definitely rewatchable because it's a fun movie, but it's not a movie that has any importance in the Marvel universe, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys thought about The Marvels. I thought it was pretty fun, not the best, not the worst. Let me know what you guys thought about in this movie in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. And again, if you guys like talking about anything movies, TV shows, or video games related, consider subscribing down below. And I'll see you guys on the next review.